Welcome to DWBIADDA channel. Please subscribe for latest training videos.
Guys, so today we'll talk about what is MySQL Aurora, which is provided by AWS in RDS, and how to create one. Okay, so Amazon Aurora is a MySQL and Postgres compatible relational database. Okay, which is built for the cloud with enhanced performance and cost effectiveness. Okay, Amazon Aurora is up to 5 times faster than standard MySQL databases and 3 times faster than a standard Postgres database. It is more secure, available, reliable, and you can say up to 1/10 cheaper than regular MySQL databases. Okay, so create your Aurora database. Since it's a relational database, so you can go to RDS, or you can type here in your management console. So we are in our Amazon RDS dashboard. Now go to DB instances, create database, and you can go for Amazon Aurora. Again, I have already discussed about that, what is standard create and what is easy create. Easy create is a pre-built configuration provided by AWS, whereas in a standard create we get to set all the settings here, like availability, security, backups, and maintenance. Okay, now now you can choose either Amazon Aurora with MySQL compatibility or Amazon Aurora with Postgres compatibility. Okay, for this lecture I'll go with MySQL, and now you can select multiple versions. Okay, one thing I need you to guys show that now if I select this, I don't have the setting of configuring our RDS to regional or global settings. Okay, suppose like this, for 5.6.10a I have an option either to configure my database to regional or global, whereas if I select this version I don't have this option. Okay, so it will be a regional base by default. So you need to keep in mind that, because if you want to configure your RDS globally, so you have to check which version is compatible to do so. Okay, now you can either select your database to regional or global. I'll select it regional. Okay, on global, your database Aurora will be in multiple AWS region, writes in the primary AWS region, and replicated with typical latency of which is less than 1 second to the second AWS region. Okay, so this is pretty cool. Now you can have two type of database. Either you can go for one writer and multiple readers, and or you can go for serverless. Serverless is, suppose if you have no idea how much traffic you would be expecting on your database queries. Suppose there are high traffic at night or high traffic at certain days, so you can go for serverless because it will auto scale accordingly. Okay, so I'll go for one reader and multiple writers. Now production template, you can go for production template, you can go for dev test template, so I'll go with production template. For DB setting, you can select your identifier, my first Aurora. Okay, now for credential, you can select your username, admin user, I'll leave it as admin. For password, I'll create a password. Okay, settings are somewhat similar to that of which we have seen in our MySQL RDS database. Okay, now for DB instance class, you can go for memory optimized or burstable classes. Memory optimized if you have high usage or high traffic in your application, or you have very high queries that needs to be run in your DB instance, so you can go for memory optimized. But for this lecture I'll go for burstable class, and I'll choose a small type, D2 small. Okay, now you can either create an Aurora replica, okay, or you can choose not to create an Aurora replica. I'll choose Aurora replica. Replica I have already discussed in previous lecture is a read replica where your database will create a read only database. Okay, so it will to reduce traffic on your database query. Okay, now I'll choose create Aurora replica, and it will be on different availability zone, so which is great. VPC, again you can create your own VPC or let Aurora choose the default VPC. Additional configuration, it's again similar to Amazon RDS and Postgres. Publicly accessible, I'll not access this database for this tutorial, so I'll make it no. I don't want my Aurora RDS to be accessible outside my VPC, so I'll choose it no, which is also you will be doing when you will be setting up your Aurora database for production environment. Okay, subnet, you can either create a security group, either you can create your own or you can let Aurora create or choose the default security group. Okay, additional, you can create your, so I'll just keep it as it is. Okay, initial database, if you want to create your initial database, like you can create it here. Okay, my DB. Okay, you can select a parameter group. Parameter group is like a default setting or a configuration setting for your database. You can configure parameter group from here. Okay, you can configure it from here, so it will choose a default. Failover priority to no preference. Okay, backup, yes, I want to have a daily backup and I will choose a retention period of 7 days. You can enable encryption by default AWS KMS key, or you can create your own KMS key and enter the ARN of that key here. Okay, backtrack, you can enable backtrack if you have did some error or some mistake, so it will enable you to go back in specific point in time. Okay, so you can enable it. Monitoring, you can enable enhanced monitoring, which will give you increased granularity to see your CPU utilization and all that. Monitoring role, I'll set to default. You can again export logs, all these logs to S3. Maintenance, again this is managed by AWS, so you need not have to worry about regular updates. You can enable it here, and you can select a window time. So it's almost the same like your MySQL RDS setting. Okay, you can also enable delete protection, but for now I'll delete it because disable it because I will be deleting it. I don't want to get extra charge, so I'll delete it. Okay, now go to create database. So our database is creating. So now you can see here. Okay, so our database is created. Now see, now we have two databases. One is writer and another one is reader. So let it be created again. So I'll explain what it is further. Okay, so our writer database status has changed from creating to configuring enhanced monitoring. So let's wait a little further. Okay, so our writer database is also available, and it's our our reader database is still configuring enhanced monitoring. So while it's configuring, let's go ahead and explore. So now for database we can see two. Okay, my first row database, I can see two identifier. One is writer and another one is reader. Okay, and now you can see two endpoints. One is reader and one is writer. And you can also, for reader, you can see RO, which is read only. So you can configure your database accordingly, application accordingly. And Here you can see monitoring. Okay, logs and events can be tracked down here, and configuration we have already talked about it. So this is all the configuration. You can go to writer database and see the configuration for writer database. Publicly accessibility, I have set it to no. You can see it here. Monitoring, you can tag here. You can see here. Okay, all these things can be tracked down here. So we have now fully functional Aurora database with one writer and one reader database, whereas which you can say one database is for writing and another one is just to read the database. Okay, so I hope you get to understand what is Aurora and how to create one.